I'm going to show you how to make this with Keynote mostly. So it's going to be about 10 minutes and I'll show you how to do all these animations, the background, the whole nine. And I'm going to show you how to do this with the free software that comes with your Mac, Keynote. All right. I'm doing this because a lot of people started asking me about timers and countdown timers and stuff like that when I was doing all these lower thirds. So people were asking me about doing timers. Hey, Brother Brooks, how you doing, man? Good to see you. So yeah, so today we're going to figure out how to do this timer in Keynote. So let's jump over to Keynote and get started. This should take about 10 minutes roughly. I'm going to take you through every step of doing it, right? And let me make my Keynote screen. Let me turn this off first. One of them days. Let's see. Turn off the timer. All right, there we go. So we're going to take you through all the steps, top to bottom, of how to make that timer with Keynote. And I say mostly. All right, so I'm going to pick a black background presentation. And we're going to do widescreen. So let's choose that. All right. So like I said, I'm gonna march you guys through every step. I see your comments coming in. So what I'm going to do is probably ignore your comments unless it's a question, because I want to give everybody the how-to, and then I can probably swing back around to show you guys other stuff you may have questions about. All right. So let's do it that way. And this is just how I made the timer. So follow me. I'm going to try to take it as slow as possible and give you all the steps you need. All right. So here we go. So usually the first thing I do is I make the screen smaller so I can see the whole rectangle. Let's see, I got extra stuff on there. There we go. All right. So with your mouse, we're going to click and drag, select everything, and delete. Get all that stuff off your screen. The next thing you want to do is go over here to color fill while you're on a blank slide and make it no fill. Right? So as of right now, we're transparent. Okay? Then I'm going to hit Command R. I always call it Apple R to get the ruler up, because you want to be able to have guidelines when you do this. So shape, let's get a rectangle. And let's get started. All right, so we're going to drag this rectangle up to the left-hand corner, drag it all the way out to the right-hand corner, and you'll actually see the middle lines kind of pop in for you. So now that that rectangle fills the screen, we're going to drag center lines on it. All right, pretty simple, huh? So that's going to be the outer edge of your screen, right? So now let's cut the hole out of it. Now, this is one of those hidden features that most people don't realize is in Keynote. And it's an awesome feature. And I'll show you guys how to make video overlays later with the same feature. But essentially, so let's go to shape again. I'm going to pick a circle. It's going to be blue, so we can just make it any colors. No big deal. So let's make it light blue. All right. So I hold down Shift. And I'm going to make this circle big enough to get outside of the rectangle. Right? And so I'll center this up also. Why is that thing not centering? There we go. There we go. Okay. So I just want the circle to be big enough to go off the slide. Now these blue, you know what? Let me change this color because I'm going to be saying the word blue and y'all going to be thinking of something else. Okay. So the blue edges are the edges of your video screen. This stuff is going to be solid. Okay. So if you want those edges smaller, you want to make this circle bigger. And I'll make it a little bit bigger. So now let's center that bad boy again. Okay. So the blue edges are the edges that are going to stay. The red part is going to be transparent. So now what you want to do is I just click and drag everything on the screen. Now here's that unknown feature in Keynote that helps you do all the kind of overlays you want to do. You want to go to Format, shapes and lines, exclude shapes. So what I did just now is now that circle has cut a hole in the rectangle, right? And that black you see is transparent. You can see straight through that. So basically, I'll show you again. You want to select everything, go to Format, Shapes and Lines, exclude shapes. And whatever shape is on the front is going to cut a hole into the shape that's in the back. All right. So that's your first thing you have to do. Figure out what kind of edges you want, and we're doing it. So here's the second part, how we get the throbbing timer, right? So we're going to make another shape. I'm going to do another circle. And this time I'm going to do a line border on it, no fill. And I'm just going to do the colors that I used. I'm going to use an orange border. And let's make the circle bigger. Hold down Shift. Make sure you hold down Shift. All right. And let's kick up the line weight to bigger than that. And you know what? Let's make the circle even a little bit bigger. Just a little bigger. All right. And center that up. It should snap for you. All right. Now, this is that throbbing outline, right? And I made the line 13. I can make it a little bit bigger. So here's the deal with this line. You're going to need 3 of these, and we're going to stack them backwards. Now you need 2 of them, one color, and 1 of them another color. So let's go ahead and let's do that real quick. No, you know what? Let me animate this one real quick. So let me go to Animate, Add an Effect. Now these are the built-in effects, and all you need is build in. And what I use is twist and scale. So that's the throb, right? So you see it? Twist and scale. And I usually knock that down to 0.9 seconds so it can come in kind of quick. And you can preview it again. See, that's the throb, right? All right. So now I have the throbbing circle that I want. I'm going to copy it twice. So select it, copy, paste. And just stay with me. Paste again. All right, so now we have 3 of them. All right, now here's a part that can get tricky, but it shouldn't be. But it can get tricky. We're going to layer it from the back, right? So the bottom circle is going to be a static circle. The middle circle is going to be animated with the throb. The top circle is going to be animated with the throb. All right, so stay with me. So let's do the last circle. This is usually how I do it. So it's going to, in my scenario, it's going to be white, yellow, white, orange, white. So let's make this one orange. So we're going to go back, just click any of them. Go back to Format. We're going to make the line white. And we're going to go to Animate, Change, None. So now that's the static one. That's the bottom one. Okay. So now we have the orange one that's going to throb. And then we're going to have the top one that's white again. And it's also going to throb. And I'll show you how to layer them. So if they're not layered right, don't worry about that right now. Just want to be able to see them. All right. Because as you see right now, white is on the bottom. Another white is on top of that one. And then orange is on top, which is the wrong order, right? So we're going to click this second one. That's animated. The second white one that's animated, as you see here. And we're going to bring it to the top. So arrange, bring to front. So you should see white, orange, white. White, orange, white. The bottom white one is static. The middle orange one animates. The top white one animates, right? So now we're basically done. It's really that simple. And then we just enhance it with colors and stuff like that. So here's the white one. Make sure it's static, no animation. And usually what I do to make sure I'm doing this right, I click right here on Build Order in the Animate palette. And you should really only have 2 circles in it. 2 of the 3 circles will be animated. So you should only see 2 circles in this right now. All right. So, and when you click on the static one, nothing should light up in the build order. That lets you know that it's not animated. So that's another telltale sign. All right. So bottom one is static. Orange, and it's going to be your first one, right? And it goes on top of that one. So we're going to line it up on top. And we're going to make sure that the orange one is number 1 in order. The orange one animates first, right? So animate in at 0.9 seconds. Don't worry about the on click and all that because it does it automatically when you save it. All right, so that's the middle one. Then we have the white one, which is the last one. Now, to get the throbbing so it changes colors, right? We're going to put a delay on the second animated white one. So that's the white one now, which is on top. We're going to call it after build number 1, which is the orange one. And we're going to put a delay on it of 0.4 seconds, right? So now let's preview everything. All right, so it was white at first. We throb in orange, throb in white after a 0.4 second delay. So let's look at it again. So that's what you wanted to do. So when we bring this into Ecamm, we're going to loop it, right? So it always starts white, orange throbs in, white throbs in, then the static white pops up again because it's looping, but nobody knows it's static, right? So it just keeps looking like orange and white are throbbing on top of each other, all right? So now, because I'm going to show you everything I did in mine. And I think right now the circle looks a little small, but just make your circle bigger. So what I want to do now is these are the outer edges. And we're going to go to format. As you see here, I selected the rectangle. And I did mine as a gradient fill. And just to add some pizzazz to it, you can just make it, we just make this thing 2 oddball colors. Let's make it green and purple. Okay. So now here's another thing that I did. The middle, which is transparent, you see yourself directly through it, unfiltered, clean video. What some people might want to do is have a frosted, I want to say frosted, a tinted color in front of yourself, just so you're kind of in the background and the timer is the focal point, right? So to do that, we're just going to go in here. We're going to make us another circle. Let me close this build out thing. Let's make another circle. And let's make it just big enough to cover up the other circle because it's no big deal, right? And we're going to do a fill color of, let's make it gray even though it's going to be gray. We'll make it gray. And let's change the opacity of this down to, I don't know, we can make it semi-dark. Make it 35. And then we're going to arrange and send this to the back. Okay, so now we have a frosted gray that's in the back that's going to cover us, our video of us. We have the color fill gradient edges, and we have the throbbing middle, right? So that's basically the elements of the timer. And when I said we're going to build it mostly in Keynote, as we just did, the actual timer part is going to be in Ecamm. So you can customize that however you want to, whatever font you want to, but the animation of the throbbing we have through Keynote. So now let's export it. So let's go to File, Export to, Movie. Now here's some things to watch out for. Because we're looping it, we don't want a hesitation in the loop. We don't want it to hiccup. We want it to go straight into the loop, right? No delay. And so I always do this. I don't even know if this does anything, but I just do it. Go to the next slide after 0 seconds. Go to the next build after 0 seconds. We don't want any extra on this video that's not needed. And resolution, custom, ProRes 4444, next. And I'm going to save it somewhere on my desktop. I'm going to call it Timer 2. And y'all seeing all my other stuff that's saved on my desktop, but that's all right. Export it. All right, and we're done. All right, so now let's go back to Ecamm and let's work this thing, right? So let me go to let me find this on my desktop because like I said, I'm doing this all on the fly. Timer 2, there it is. And we're going to expand it to make it the size of the screen by scrolling as you I'm not even touching it. Well, you probably can't tell I'm not touching it, but I'm scrolling it, right? So now you see it stopped. So I'm going to go to, and I don't know if you can tell or not. Let me turn this off and let me show you something. So turn it off. See how much clearer I am than when I have it on? That's the gray. You can use any color you want to use, whatever like that. So essentially, I'm looping it now. Autoplay loop. So now once I start it, the throbbing goes, right? So throb, delay, throb, delay, throb, delay. Okay, everybody with me? All right, so now let's get the other parts for the timer. So we're going to go to overlays and we're going to click on text. I'm not even sure if you're seeing this or not because I don't really have you turned on. But we're going to go, uh-oh, that's not it. Well, we can do that part now. Let's say stream begins, stream starts in, and I always make this 2 lines, and center it, add. So stream starts in, and let's make that a little bigger. Okay, you can see me working the letters. I mean the text. Cool. So stream starts in, and then we're gonna go to add another one. We're gonna do a timer this time. Countdown from an amount of time. Let's say 10 minutes. We're gonna center it. It's yeah, we're gonna make it white, no background. Add that, and yes, it's tiny, but we can scroll that up too. Oh, you still see Keynote? Uh-oh. You should be seeing me right now. Let me play my video and turn the sound down. Hey, ECAMM fam, this is... All right. So now, that's it, right? So, oh, you know what? I'm not using my new one. I'm using the other one, the one I made before that, because I don't see the green fade on it. Let's use the actual one we just made so you guys know I'm using. Okay, this is the one we just made, and as you see, the circle is smaller. And as I said, remember I said I noticed that when it did it smaller last time. So play loop. There we go. So that's now actual proof that of the one that we just made works, right? Has a green to the green to blue fade, all that kind of stuff. So that's it. So like I said, this is a countdown timer made mostly in Keynote. As you can see here, I made the circle a little too small. I think I would have made the circle bigger like I made my original. But you can do that, right? And as you see here, I will turn it off again real quick. I'm clearer here now because I use that gray tint. So that's it. That's how you make a countdown timer mostly in Keynote. So until next time, I am Bradley Vinson, Alana's Pawpaw. Be blessed, be free. See y'all next time.